Welcome to today's deep dive. Let's kick things off with a really striking scenario. Imagine humanity is slowly sinking into complete darkness. Now, what if, to stop it, every single one of us had to become a single candle, burning brightly to cast out that dark? It's a powerful image, right? Today, we're unpacking a groundbreaking 1989 lecture given at the Ryogoku Kokugikan titled, "What is the Ultimate State of Enlightenment?" This lecture doesn't just frame its era as an unprecedented crisis, it also calls it a massive new beginning, a true dawn. Let's jump right in and see what that's all about.
So, a single candle in the darkness. This is an absolutely crucial keyword from our source material. Fun fact, in complete darkness, the human eye can actually spot the flame of a single candle from up to 30 miles away. Back in 1989, the speaker didn't just see a dark age, they saw the time right before the sun comes up. They threw down a challenge to the audience, be the literal light that shatters the world's suffering. This isn't just abstract philosophy, it's a super practical call to action.
Here's our roadmap for this analysis. 1. The dawn of crisis. 2. Awakening the diamond soul. 3. Strict self-responsibility. 4. The cosmic tree. And finally, 5. The ultimate enlightenment. What's brilliant about this source is how it structures everything. It starts zoomed out on the macro crisis of the world, zooms way in on the individual soul, and then blasts back out to the infinite cosmos. Let's take it step by step.
The dawn of crisis. The big takeaway here is the speaker's unique viewpoint that times of enormous, world-shaking crises are actually the exact moments when fresh hope is ready to explode onto the scene.
Let's set the stage a bit. Picture 1989, a time of massive global upheaval. But the speaker here refuses to be a prophet of doom. Instead, they stand up to completely shatter that doom and gloom mood with actionable spiritual truth. They're essentially saying, we need to rise up right now specifically to make sure those doomsday predictions do not come true. Now I want to ask you something. If the world is descending into night, why bother bringing light to it at all? The source provides a core, hard-hitting answer. It's exactly when the world plunges into total darkness that your individual, spiritual light becomes absolutely vital. The darker it gets, the more infinitely valuable that single candle becomes.
Moving on to Section 2. Awakening the diamond soul. We're shifting gears here. We're taking our lens off the macro crisis of the world and zooming right into the micro level, the human spirit.
According to the source material, a lot of us walk around thinking we're just cheap, fragile glass trinkets covered in dust. Sound familiar? But the speaker argues that this is completely wrong. In reality, the true human soul is a radiant, unbreakable diamond, a literal child of the divine. The very first step to enlightenment is waking up to this absolute inherent value inside you.
Section 3, strict self-responsibility. Okay, so you've realized your true value. What's next? Radical accountability. This is presented as a severe, unyielding, but totally unavoidable step on the path to becoming a true victor in life.
Let me throw a tough question your way, straight from the lecture. Are you blaming your environment or the people around you for your current situation? Ouch, right? Do you point fingers when things go wrong? The speaker is adamant that throwing away all excuses and looking strictly inward is the only way forward.
The speaker completely dismisses what they call fragile happiness, that selfish, easy comfort we get from spoiling ourselves. They say it melts away like morning frost. In stark contrast, true happiness is rock solid, and it only comes from having an uncompromising, strict awareness of yourself.
So how do we actually do this? The source breaks it down into clear steps. First, stop blaming others. Just stop. Second, boldly acknowledge that the accumulation of all your past thoughts has directly created your present reality. And third, take radical, absolute responsibility for the steering wheel of your own life. This deep self-reflection is the ultimate key to changing your destiny.
Section 4, the cosmic tree. Now that we've dug deep into strict personal responsibility, let's zoom back out. The narrative takes a massive leap here, transitioning all the way back out to our relationship with the entire universe.
How are we all connected across the cosmos? It's a huge, profound question. Why does a philosophy so focused on strict self-reliance suddenly look to the stars? Well, the speaker uses this setup to introduce a beautifully vast, universal view of human connection.
Here's the theology laid out in the lecture. Every single soul on Earth and billions more across the universe are like unique branches and petals that all originate from a single, divine, great cosmic tree. We might feel small, but together, billions of lives form a breathtaking galactic flower. Basically, at our deepest roots, we are all completely interconnected.
This brings us to a complex but fascinating concept, Riji Soku Rita. Simply put, it means that benefiting yourself equals benefiting others. The intense, personal effort it takes to bloom your own flower of enlightenment isn't just for you. Your growth acts as a massive grace and salvation for the entire observing universe. By truly elevating yourself, you are automatically performing the highest act of altruism. How cool is that?
Section 5. The Ultimate Enlightenment. We've reached the climax of our analysis. The most important thing to grasp here is that enlightenment isn't some final resting place where you just kick back and relax.
Here is the absolute core takeaway from the source. Human existence is eternal, and life itself is a mission. The ultimate state of enlightenment means dedicating your entire being to an active, dynamic mission, filling the world with love and light and working tirelessly to make people happy. It's not about sitting still, it's about eternal action. No beginning, no end. Let's just slow down and let that sink in for a second. Because the divine source is infinite, the speaker argues that the altruistic mission of an enlightened soul also has no alpha and no omega. To just endlessly, eternally pour out love for others, that is the very peak of enlightenment. We're wrapping up this deep dive, but I want to leave you with one final thought. If you truly stopped seeing yourself as fragile glass, embraced your inner diamond, and took radical responsibility for your own soul, how would your view of the world change tomorrow? This journey, from a single spark in the dark to an eternal light that spans the cosmos, offers a profound way to look at your own search for meaning. Thanks for joining me, and keep shining.